Today's build, I want to try something different. I want to do a all bleeds build, and the focus of this build will be basically play almost like a feral druid and try Assassination Rogue all bleeds build. For the build, I decided to go hemorrhage, internal bleeding, obviously. Mark for death because it's easier to apply multiple bleeds on more than one target this way because you don't have to build up calm points. I'm going for agonizing poison to buff up those bleeds, and the main way I will be doing that is not through envenoms, but it's all about putting bleeds on an enemy and then leaving. But as you're leaving, you can use throwing knives or poison knife in order to stack up the buff of agonizing poison, so the enemy will take more poison damage over a long period of time. So that is my plan, and chances are I won't be able to execute it the way I wanted to, but we're gonna still give it a good old college try. I don't have my poisons up. They keep falling off for whatever reasons, so I'm gonna need to put them back up. Yeah, that would have been nice to have those a while ago. I'm gonna pump some damage into this dude, just some bleeds. Yep, this rogue, he does not like me, but it's okay. I got poisons and dots. Look at the damage over time. 50k is a pop. If I can spread it to more than one target, I think I'll be doing alright. Damn, well that was a bit sloppy. I think I can perform a little bit better next time. So I'm gonna dot him up, leave him, onto the next target. Got our bleeds up. Gonna get internal bleeding up as well. We actually got all bleeds taken off, so that's awesome. Happy to see that the polymorphs can do that. And this guy, look at him. I mean, I don't really know just how much damage my bleeds are doing on their own, because let's be honest, like there's so much going on in the BG. There's so many players just doing all these different things, so it's really hard to decide, or hard to tell which, just how effective am I on my own. But maybe this will help. Okay, so he took off all my agonizing poison stacks, which sucks, but look at the damage. I mean, it's pretty solid. Like, it can deal about 100k-ish if I have Garrode and Rupture and stack up agonizing poison. So a bunch of players taking 100k damage every few seconds, and if I'm able to just like go in and swiftly just dot, then I'll be seeing some numbers. We'll see. I still do like the original build that I have for Master Poisoner. I'm not a big fan of Hemorrhage anymore. I used to be like early in the beta. And some of you might be saying, hey, why don't you just grab Exsanguinate, because you can speed up your bleeds. It's not about speeding up a bleed, it's about just enhancing the bleeds. That's kind of what I'm going with this build. So with Agonizing Poison, we can build up the stacks so the bleeds do a lot more than they normally would. But the big problem with bleeds already, as I can see right now, is they don't last that long. In most cases, people just like die so much quicker than bleeds can, you know, amass damage on them. Look at that, 61k a pop. Yeah, as I'm amassing more and more damage of or more stacks of agonizing poison, my bleeds can potentially do more damage, but it's all about potential damage, really. I'm gonna pop internal. I'm just gonna swap off from one target to another. Just sit on them for a little bit. See what I can do. I'm actually gonna use Envenom here and Phantomize a little bit. Just so I can get a little bit of spread pressure with the agonizing poison stacks. Maybe stack it up a bit. I mean, 71k. I saw a 71k crit from a Rupture. So that was pretty nice. Look at that. The amount of bleeds I was able to put out just a little bit is putting me up there. So internal bleeding, Rupture, and Garrode are doing work. It's just, you need a little bit of patience to set them up first. Dot them up. Let's see the 5 stacks of poison. Just what was I critting for? I mean, the damage is pretty good. Let's see if we can put in internal bleeding in there as well. I'm just dying right now, so there's not a lot I can do. It's like once people focus you, that's really it, I feel. I just can't live long enough, so it's not even the damage is bad, it's just like I am bad at surviving, so I can't get my dots up fast enough. So the damage comes from this once you put the bleeds up, and you can enhance the bleeds and how effective they are after stack the agonizing poison. But as you can see, first you gotta put the bleeds up, then you gotta enhance them. So there's a lot of shit going on in order to just be able to make the poison build, the bleed build viable. Just a lot of prep work. Like, look, I bled him up, and that's really it. You bleed him up, and you kind of let him go. Kind of like send your kids off to college. And it's all about watching those dots take care of them afterwards. So this build doesn't really focus on sitting on one target. It's more about spread pressure, kind of like an Affliction Warlock. And for the longest time, I liked the idea of like a Affliction Warlock with daggers being Assassination Rogue. Just like all about the dot spread pressure, not about really bursting down or focusing a single person. Internal bleeding onto... Wow, I was able to get internal bleeding mid-DFA. Did they change that or something? Or was it just like a bug on his end? So, because it takes so long to set up all your damage, and all just to see the rewards that you've been working for, I feel like that's what makes it kind of not as viable. Will you please just fuck off? I have no energy. I can hemo you and that's about it. My god. I'm out. Never mind. Jesus. Yeah, so it's just so much of a setup, too much of a setup in order to make it even anywhere viable. Maybe in 3v3 arenas it might be a little bit easier because you're not dealing with like the whole fucking team. And maybe if you have like good healers that can keep you up so then you're able to go around. So it's like it has viability. It's just like very specific viability. Dotted him up onto the next target. Dotted him up. That rogue is just sitting on my ass and he's just not gonna let go. I hate this rogue. I hate his life. I hate what he has become. I hate the monster that he's turned into. And if I could get a heal, that'd be awesome. Okay, there's a couple stacks of poison on this dude. I'm gonna AFK now. Hit the beats for a bit. I actually shouldn't be kicking holy anymore. Penance isn't the spell you want to be kicking. Not anymore. It actually is the Shadow Mend. Shadow Mend is the spell you want to be kicking. Dotted him up off the target. Dot him up and then let him go. Oh my god, I'm trying to select this DK, but I can't. As you saw, like when you are able to put up a bunch of dots, you are pretty effective. You don't have that burst and that versatility that you do running Master Poisoner, but you do have some interesting tricks up your sleeve, at the very least. Oh my goodness, unless you just can't catch up to the enemy, and then what else are you gonna do about it? So look, I'm catching up to the next highest rogue. We definitely are not gonna be able to beat this Boomy because Boomy's damage is insane and the spread pressure they have, but I'm catching up to the other rogue. It takes a little bit of patience, which I don't fully have. I feel like this build has viability, or it just is a fun build. It's just not the most competitive build right now, though. Yeah. So what makes this build interesting is the bleeds, and just how much damage you deal with your bleeds. These are my numbers for the whole BG. We have Garrote hitting for about average of 31k. No, Garrote's 39k. Rupture's about average of 31k. And internal bleeding deal a decent amount of damage of 29k for like that bursty kind of bleed during short moments. And the idea behind this whole build is to just let the bleeds tick down on your enemy. And it's interesting on one hand, but it's also like, it's good, but it's also bad at the same time. One of the questions is like, how would you open on your target? What kind of opener would you do? Cheap shot? Okay, no cheap shots apparently don't work on these wolves. I don't even have my poisons up. Poison just keeps resetting for some reason. So how would you open? Cheap shot, Garrote, Hemo. Do you go Hemo again? I feel like Hemo is just such a bad ability on its own, but I guess you could technically go Hemo. And then it's all about stacking the mutilates, or actually it's not even about stacking mutilates, it's about swapping to a different target, then getting Hemo and then getting Garrote up. And the damage, like in PvE I was able to get 2 stacks for Agonizing Poison, so my bleeds are doing 11% more damage. But in general, I feel like that's in PvP, you're not always lucky to get 2 stacks. You're lucky if you even get 1 stack. Mainly because of the way that Agonizing Poison works. I feel like Agonizing Poison, it's either Agonizing Poison or Deadly Poison that just doesn't stack quite as often. Agonizing Poison, each strike has a 20% chance to poison the enemy, and Deadly Poison is 50% chance. So yes, Agonizing Poison has a low percent chance. It can potentially make you deal more damage with your poisons alone. But on its own, it's just like, it's a poison that doesn't really do anything. It's a debuff, that's what it is. And so the only way you can really get the most effect out of your poisons is, or out of your bleeds, is to get your bleeds up, but also get your poisons up. And I'm trying to figure out how the fuck do I get over the wall? There's supposed to be a grappling hook around here, right? In PvP, where the longer it takes for you to get your setup going, I feel like the harder it is to actualize the setup. You know? To actualize something, or I guess to make something function and make something actually work, is a bit difficult, at least for Assassination in the way that it's currently played. For example, we have this boss right here. I can run up, Hemo, Garrote, get all the bleeds up, And then I can just like throw poison knives in order to make sure that I guarantee stacks of dots. And it's a decent amount of damage that I'm dealing to an NPC. In PvP, the damage will probably be slightly lower. Potentially, the damage can be a ton, because you have 25% damage increase from Hemo. You have, I think it's maximum of, what is it maximum of? Hold on. And he takes about 29% damage increase. So it's 29% damage increase for your Rupture, plus 25% damage increase. And I'm pretty sure Blizzard math is, it's hard to find out whether it's additive or multiplicative in certain situations. I mean, maybe one day eventually there'll be a patch and where we'll be able to use Hemorrhage and Agonizing Poison, stack bleeds on an enemy, and then let him go and let him rot, almost playing like a Feral and Affliction Warlock. But maybe one day will come back, but but chances are not anytime soon. Anyway, but this is all I have to say about the bleed build. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about the bleed build for Assassination, and I'll see you guys in the next video.